Hi there, I'm Kristen Brown, and I'm so excited to be chatting with you this Monday morning. I had a couple of conversations over the weekend and had a few people mention to me that, they feel like they're being sold all the time. No matter where they go, whether they go into a clothing store or into a department store or into a cell phone place or they're going to a restaurant, they feel like they're always being sold to. It's like everywhere they go, the service industry is all about what else can we give you? Can we get you another drink? Can we add an appetizer? Can we add dessert? You go to the clothing store, well, here I brought some other things to the dressing room. There's all kinds of things that they want to upsell you into. So it's like we're in this culture where people are trying to bombard us with things that they want us to buy all the time. And, as human beings, we naturally have to be selling. And that doesn't mean selling something that people may be buying from you, but you have to sell your message, sell who you are so that people will buy into who you are, what you're trying to say to them, so that they trust you, they like you, they know you. Even your kids, you're selling to them your ideas every single day. So I just wanted to share a couple things today to get you thinking differently about how you sell yourself. And again, not just how you sell yourself so someone's going to pay you money, but how you sell yourself and your message so that people will want to talk about you, will want to hang out with you, will want to do business with you in some cases, so that you'll get that promotion, so you'll close that deal, so your kids will listen, so your spouse and your friends, and you'll get along with everyone more effectively. So some of you have seen me speak to bigger groups and heard me share a little bit of my platform building expertise. And that means what a platform is really all of those things that make you credible, those things that make you likable, those things that make you truly an expert at what it is that you're trying to get the world and the person that you're speaking with on your side. So when it comes to parenting, well, you are an expert at the facts of life and at life lessons that you're trying to teach your kids and how to cross the road safely and how to drive and all of the different lessons that you're trying to teach your kids. So how can you position yourself as that expert without telling them that you are that expert and being, in their face thinking that you're right? Because you know how kids do not respond to that. How about at work? If you're a salesperson and you're always having to sell things, and if you're in someone's face all the time, buy this, buy this, buy this, before you've built the trust, before you've demonstrated that you're someone that they should buy from in the first place, that they should even listen to, you're going to cut your deal off short before you've even had a chance to even get to the product or the service that you want to sell. So when it comes to platform, you really have to position yourself, and the best way to do that is through stories. And that means you're not starting with your sales pitch, you're not starting with how great you are or why you're an expert or your education or all your background or all of your years of experience or how great your product or service is or what a great parent you are. Instead, you are starting with them. You're flipping the conversation. You're starting it with what their needs are, what they're about, what some of their common interests are with you, so that you can create a rapport first. And people say to me, well, this is just sales 101. Yes, it is, but then I'll flip it on them and I'll say, well, do you actually do this? And they'll say, well, no. And they'll say, well, how do you start? Well, I tell them, all about our company. I tell them, why it's important to do business with us or why our product's important. And, if it's someone talking about something in their personal life, well, I'll tell my child, this is important for safety, or, they make it instead of about the person, they make it about them or the reason that the product or service itself is the showcase. And that's not how you should be starting any conversation ever to get someone to buy into you, to sell yourself, to get people to like you, to trust you, to want to hang out with you, to want to buy from you. You start with them. So yeah, your product or service and you might be awesome. You might have the best resume in the world. You might be the very best person, most qualified for this job. But if you lead with that, you're going to lose the person right away, because human beings, human nature, we want to talk about ourselves. We want to hear about how you can help us, how you can make our lives better. So what kind of stories can you tell? I had a boss once who, we really just were opposites, and I didn't know how to bridge that gap. And one day I went into his office and I saw a picture on his desk that I hadn't seen before. And that picture was a picture of him and his dogs. And I had a dog, so I thought, well, maybe if I should lead with this, maybe this will create a bridge to connect us and make these meetings less awkward, make them less stressful, make them less, just tension in the air. So I asked him, how's your dog? What's your dog's name? And he opened up. He lit up like a firecracker, and he was a totally different person in that meeting. And from that meeting on, every meeting, one or the other of us would ask each other about the dogs. Unspoken, but it just broke the tension. It helped us create a connection. And again, it was not going right for the sale. It wasn't going for the meat of what we needed to talk about, but it was creating that story-based emotional connection first. So when you meet someone, how are you leading off? Are you leading off with how great you are, what your credentials are, what your product or service is? Or are you starting with them? You need to make every conversation that you start with anyone that you want to get buying into you, buying your story, buying who you are, wanting to hang out with you, wanting to sell stuff, depending on where you're at, start with them. Find something about them that you can lead with that will immediately attract them to you, make them want to hang out with you. You'll be like a magnet when you talk to someone about them. So that's just my little quick lesson for today, a little Monday motivation to get you started on the week. So my challenge to you this week is, how can you, in an interaction with someone this week, instead of doing your typical, here's me, here's what I do, here's what I can do for you, no, here's you, here's all about you, here's what I know about you. Start with that. So I challenge you this week to have at least one conversation that starts that way. Preferably every conversation you have starts that way. I'm Kristen Brown. We'll see you later.